3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Hey, Pete.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the M1 Gear channel. We're going to do a behind the scenes episode today. My name is Matthew Peach.
I'm Cody Stauber.
So today we were filming for a documentary film shoot, and we're getting ready to roll out. We got to pack out here in just a little while, but we wanted to take a quick moment and talk about something that happens on so many productions, especially on documentaries, and that's where you show up at a location, you don't know what it's what you're going to film, where, right? And so we wanted to talk about the challenges of picking a room to film in and how we came about that decision, for this project.
Mm-hmm. And this house provided some unique challenges for us because obviously we're operating during the pandemic, and so we can't go to our interviewees' locations, so they're coming to us. So we're out of town right now. We rented this house to shoot at, and we're going to talk a little bit about the process that we went through to choose the shot that we did in this house, because it provided some unique challenges, as you'll see in a second.
So the first room we thought of, all right, this is cool. We saw this cool artwork and it had this nice table, right? And when we're looking through the pictures online, we're like, yeah, this could work, maybe. And then we get here and we're like, oh, this is a lot smaller than we thought. And it's also right by the door. And it makes, with this big table, more sense to be a gears position, right? Load in, load out, crew can grab stuff. We got our cine lenses, our camera here, right? Like we can roll out. This is a much better spot for things like DIT. The painting's nice and all, but they'd have to be standing up, right? We couldn't find a profile angle because we're kind of boxed in here. And there's a lot of smudges on the wall, right? So it really wasn't that pretty, right? So we're like, all right, scrap this one, move on to the next. And then we thought the kitchen might be perfect. That's one of the main reasons why we chose this house, was we thought this place had a badass kitchen. So we got here and it wasn't red like we thought. It was orange.
It's kind of red, but I'm colorblind, so what do I know?
It's really this like blood orange, and it just didn't look that great on camera for whatever reason, right, with the daylight. And then also, it just kind of looked busy. We thought the lines would look cool, but it really looked busy. And because it was small, it just felt like we were just in a kitchen. They had to be standing up. We wanted our interview sitting down to feel intimate, because we were trying to make it feel like they were at home.
You can see that it's just, like Pete said, a little busy, and this orange really isn't cutting it for us.
And the refrigerator was just this big, imposing silver thing at the edge of frame, right? And we couldn't get another angle because the profile angle was just refrigerator, and it didn't look cool. So we're like, all right, we really spent a lot of time in here trying to make this room work, because it was one of the main reasons we got the house. Didn't work out, so we thought someone else had the idea of over here.
Yeah, we're walking through the hallway, and to the left we have this really nice living room. But once again, not as big as we expected.
No, we really thought this was a bigger room. They must have had a really wide lens when they took their pictures, because we thought this room was really, really expansive, and we would get some depth. Maybe flip the couch around and put that here in the middle so we could film up against this wall or something. And we really didn't like the cow that much. We thought about maybe swapping it off with this painting over here to the side, right, which is a city photo.
It just didn't provide us the depth that we wanted for the look of this documentary. We wanted someone seated, because that's how we do all of our interviews for this doc. But also, we have that nice, beautiful bokeh background. But to do that, we need a deep background, and this room just wasn't cutting it.
Yeah, Brett, the director of this piece, is really, as part of the style, wants these really, really deep backgrounds to show the characters that we're interviewing, and this was just not going to cut it. So we're like, okay, what else is there? We really were having a hard time with this. So
we have thought about this location, but it has a lot of flaws, as you'll see in a second.
Well, this is straight out of a horror movie.
Which you definitely realize at first. However, we do have this very unique bar here in the corner.
We thought this could maybe be something, right? And when the light they got a lot of natural light coming in here. We did do a test shot down here, and the wood wall looked kind of cool by itself, right, when it was empty. But then it just looked kind of like an empty bar.
This location would need some set deck, most definitely, to do what we want to do here. We thought about getting some bottles, glasses, kind of decorating this up, but now we're adding more work to our plate than necessary.
Yeah, and we really, after we thought about it, we really have to get some cool elements to make it feel like a real house, as opposed to we just got some objects on a bar, right? We really wanted to make it feel like their house. So we're almost out of rooms, but we got one left.
By this point, we were getting a little nervous, but
we had one left, and Brett had the really cool idea to use these skylights up here, which is just this really neat natural light coming in from above. So
now really this shot's going to be the reverse of where we're at now. So let's spin this around. We'll show them what we're really talking about.
All right,
Bam.
There we go. So we thought, when camera back this far, we can use this light here to light the person's face, and you have a nice, pretty deep background. We could trim off the bed, and
we have some cool things going on in the background with lines, the plant, which offers some green, some color, a little extra light, but also this unique reflection that we're getting off this mirror, which shows these little circles here on the top of this wall. So it kind of creates for an asymmetrical but pleasing to the eye background, right?
Yeah, and with the light in the background, it gave us a practical in the shot, makes it feel warm and cozy within the space. And that was really something we were going for. We were able to keep this couch here just at the edge of frame, makes it feel like a home. The cabinet was just super soft, so you really couldn't even see what it was necessarily. If it were, it could just be an ottoman. It didn't really matter, right? And the plant and the light back in the corner, you can see this other light reflecting there in the mirror, again, gave us that just kind of a cool look in the background. It was soft and bokeh out. So this is the space we really decided on. And then we got it set up and we got it lit in the morning, but the interview wasn't for a few hours, and it was rainy when we started and not when the interview came.
Long story short, basically when the sun got overhead, this skylight was beaming a straight beam of light right down into our talent.
It was creating just this huge hot spot on the shoulder, right? And it was just, we weren't going to be able to battle that with the lighting we brought, because we were only with real small footprint. Fitting everybody in one car and all the gear as well, right? So we only could bring so much. We didn't need a lot for this project. So that type of thing, you can't fight it. You have to find a way to resolve it. And someone had the great idea of using these, what were those things? We called them diapers.
It's basically like a translucent sleeve for our lights that softens the light. So
yeah, it's a big
kind of like
silk.
a diffusion
It's
silk.
a silk. Yeah, it's a diffusion silk.
So we found some gaff tape, and we taped the diffusion silk, 2 of them actually, because one wasn't big enough, all the way around this box here. So actually, it ended up creating a nice softbox glow down onto our talent without that harsh light.
Yeah, it worked out even better, right, than we thought, by putting that the silks up and creating this softbox effect. And it just worked out really, really nice. Very, very natural. Didn't look lit at all, which is exactly what we were going for. We added another light just off of a bounce, just to give us a little bit of fill on the subject's face, remove some of the shadows that they had naturally from a light from above like that, right? So, these things are ugly. You don't want to put them on camera, but they are really great at controlling the light, because it's a huge window, and then you can articulate where you want it to go, right? You can control the light, create it more of a bounce. You can make it more directional on your subject, right? You could just keep it and shut them down and cut off the light entirely, right? So these are really helpful. Don't shoot towards these things. You can't not make them look good. No matter what, these are always going to look like cheap blinds on camera. Open, close, just open them and push them off to the side if you have to use the window, right? Use the window. If not, just try to find another angle because they do not look good on camera, but they're really great to use to control the light. And because we had that, we didn't need to put another light here and create that softbox window. We were just able to use this, dial it in, and look money.
The other thing that we briefly touched on earlier, but not really in this room, is that we also have to take into account a second angle because all of our interviews will cut back and forth between at least two angles. So we have our main angle and then our side angle. In the kitchen, we had absolutely no secondary angle that didn't include the giant silver refrigerator in the corner. So that was an absolute no. The other two rooms that we saw, the living room and the basement, offered nothing in terms of a second angle, just a flat wall with wood paneling in the basement. And then in the other room, I don't even think we had anything that was tight enough to be more than just a white wall with maybe a little bit of a picture in frame. So that just wasn't going to work for us. Here is the biggest room in the house. We have a lot more depth. And our second angle we put here in the doorway, shooting back towards this couch, and we were able to put a unique item on this table to kind of just have something unique in the background. You'll see that in our touch
Break up
as well.
Yeah, broke up the couch a little bit, made it a little more masculine for the interview subject, right? And we didn't want to show that it was a bedroom. That feels weird to film in someone's bedroom. That's a little too intimate, right? To show the bed. So that's why we wanted to be and to use this room. We almost wrote it off at first because this huge bed, but we were able to find the angle. The second angle did work great. We put a really nice Cine 85 on there, right? We just pushed the camera out in the hallway, blocking the doorway, right? But that's all right. You just put it in there when you need to, and once you cut, move the camera back out, talent can walk out.
And really, when you look at these final shots, I don't think there's anything in them that would make you think that this is a bedroom and not perhaps someone's living room. Also, you notice that we're at M1 Studios, but we're rocking our Night Vision Productions hats. That's a count of our friends at Oak Creek High School in Oak Creek, Wisconsin, who were nice enough to host us here in Oak Creek on our last shoot. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, that was awesome. We love to work with the students down there. Really cool group of people. We're going to work with them again next time we come into town. So thanks everybody for watching the M1 Gear channel, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
That.